A warm welcome to you. This is 360 Youth Dialogue here on Third Eye Africa Television, your favorite show here on Third Eye Africa Television. I am Juliet Onwera. Glad to have you always join us. Today we are talking about our democracy. The 2027 election is gearing up very fast, and it would be nice if we speak on democracy. We're looking at securing democracy. Can the opposition change the political equation? That's a question, and more we'll be talking here on 360 Youth Dialogue with our guest, Fasasi Sodiq. He's the president of the National Youth Initiative, Inclusive Initiative. You're welcome, Sodiq.
Thank you.
Sodiq, rather.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So, democracy is government by the people, for the people. It's all about the people here. And the 2027 is coming up. Can the opposition reshape political landscape in Nigeria and all that? I would want us to really look at all this in our topic today. Let's look at APC. Let's start from the ruling party itself. APC, in 2023 came and took over power from the PDP, leaving not just the PDP but other parties longing for, or rather at the other end of the election. The opposition parties play a major role in every democratic role. They stand as a major tool for accountability and, calling the party, the ruling government to order. Do you think in Nigeria, the opposition parties are holding the APC government to accountability?
Thank you so much for having me. That is a very thoughtful question. And when you look at our democratic landscape and our political history, if you look at it from, if you check our history very well, we have never been short of opposition. When you talk about opposition, either you talk about post-colonial era in 1960, we have the like of NCNC, which is the National Council for Nigerian Citizens. We have the NPP, governed by Nnamdi Azikiwe and Tafawa Balewa. These are opposition that they actually created them to oversight political trajectory. So when you look at APC as a political party, APC was formed as a result of coalition of opposition. If you look at 2015, when President Muhammadu Buhari came on board, then it was PDP that was on seat, right? Now, when they realized that PDP has been there for 16 years and they needed a new face, Nigerians were tired of PDP, so they were looking like there's a need for us to actually bring forward a new face to actually check this, our democracy, in West Africa. So we have the coalition of CPC, which is Congress for Progressive Change. Then we have some fraction of Labour Party. Then we have some fraction of Action Congress in Lagos government, which is led by President Tinubu now. So when they formed that merger, so it was more like the coalition of CPC, Labour Party, Action Congress that gave birth to APC. Now in 2015, APC was actually APC won that election because coalition came together, and they came together with a national conviction. They came together because I believe that opposition, the role of an opposition is opposition cannot change a nation. They can only change a government. The only way opposition can change a nation is opposition that has the understanding, the purpose. They actually have a national vision, a national interest, not a self-interest. So when you look at what happened in 2015, there was like a national interest. Like for the past 16 years, we've had like just PDP. There's a need for us to change this face. So they came together and they were on one course. You could hear during the campaign in Ogun State when Tinubu pronounced that statement, Emilokon. And when you look at that Emilokon, it was telling them the story of how Muhammadu Buhari was crying on national TV that he's tired, that he was tired of contesting, that even if Muhammadu Buhari contested alongside a pope, he will not win the election, right? So it was more like a national coalition with a national conviction for national interest, not for self-interest. So when I said opposition cannot change a nation, they can only change the government. What I'm trying to say is the only way opposition can change a nation is when they have a national interest, not a self-interest. But when you look at Nigerian opposition since 20, even when you look at it since after 2015, since 1960, that was when we can say we've had some kind of sensible opposition. Then in 2015, we have some kind of serious-minded people that came together. Now, when you look at 2023. Now, we are talking about 2027. What I'm seeing in the present opposition in Nigeria today, it's more like people that are driven by just personal interest. I'm not saying, when you look at what is happening in our Nigerian, in our democracy, if you look at the politics, the politicking process that has been going on, I am not seeing a clarity of manifesto. Because before you say you want to change you want to do something, like you want to be an opposition, do something different. All these years, what we've been hearing is that you see people coming on board saying they want to do a new road, they want to give us water, electricity. This has been the campaign manifesto. Even if you go and look at it since the time of Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, when they used to have their campaign standing on chairs, the same narrative we've been hearing. So we need a new style of opposition. But the one that we've been having right now, I'm not seeing a clarity of these people as actually coming with fresh ideas. What we are clamoring for, we are looking for opposition that actually have Nigerians at heart, not just people that are angry that they've been disconnected from power. That is just what Nigerians are not looking for. Individuals that just want to get to the power because they are angry. That, okay, look at what Amici is saying, that is hungry. You understand? These are very cheap manipulation, it's a political gaslighting, because you cannot tell me that you just left power in 2 years, then you are hungry. That means he's hungry for power. That is a personal interest.
So what you're trying to say now is, looking at our opposition, they are not representing the people.
Like if you look at them, they are not actually giving us that representational force that is needed for an opposition. Now, when you look at the Republic in America, you look at the Democrats, you see the kind of contest now. Even if they come outside, you will see some kind of, even if you look at their manifesto, Kamala Harris fought gallantly alongside Donald Trump. If she fought gallantly, Donald Trump did not just, you could see the kind of campaign, even the kind of money they mobilized within a space of 6 months during that campaign period. I watch it almost, I follow American politics. But come to Nigeria, these guys were talking about some kind of idea. You could see some kind of very thoughtful idea that Kamala Harris was even talking about, some very crazy thing that we don't want to hear. As crazy as it is, she was talking about abortion, talking about the population of some kind of, okay, come to Nigeria, we want to hear something scary. Whether you talk about technology, what do you want to do with Yaba Tech? Like we have some kind of crazy technological young people that are tech gurus. What do you want to do? When Mark Zuckerberg came to Nigeria, he went to Yaba Tech. So what do you want to do with those guys? So you cannot be telling me that you want to repair the road from Coastal Road to, we need a fresh ideas, fresh manifesto, something different. And as we speak, both the opposition, whether you talk about the African Democratic Congress or Labour Party, or you talk about NDC, or I'm not, or including APC, I'm not seeing anything different. What I'm seeing there are just bunch of old cargoes with no ideas, and these people are also scared of ideas. They are not ready to work with young people that can actually show them the template of this is where the world is going. And that was what my Majek Fashek said. Now Majek Fashek said the old people, they don't care what will happen in the world again, because they have already seen, they are desperate people. They just want to achieve one thing in their lifetime. What we are looking for in Nigeria right now, we need innovation. We need, okay, look at that young a woman, I think she's from Kano, one of the best medical, I forgot the part of medical part that she took. That after she finished everything, America hijacked her. we need a system that absorb our intelligentsias. We need a system that will actually makes young people to believe that this is a safe haven. Not that when you graduated with first class in computer science, they will be looking for you in America. When you graduate with first class in engineering, they will be looking for you in China. The best of us are leaving the country while the worst of us are here, and you are telling me about opposition. So what we are looking for is opposition with clarity of goals. They should come up, okay.
How relatable would you say that, or let me ask, how relatable do you think currently, you saying they should come up with clarity of goals is what they should do. Well, currently, let's look at the opposition right now.
Okay.
Do you think they are relatable to the people? Like their manifestos, them clamoring, oh, they want good roads, they can provide good roads for the people, this and that. Don't you think there are some parts of Nigeria that still need that good roads and other things? How relatable do you think they are to the people?
Thank you so much. You see, I traveled a lot. The only state I've not been to is Zamfara, Kebbi, and Sokoto. So I have traveled to more than 34 states in this country. I left home as a teenager, and the kind of work I do, I work with Red Cross. Yeah, before I started my own foundation. So because of that virtue of working with the Red Cross is an humanitarian-led organization, so we traveled a lot. I am not saying we don't have bad roads in this country. Some of our road network from some states to other states, they are very bad. I know. I was in Bayelsa during the handing over ceremony. The day they handed over to Tinubu, that was the day I traveled to Bayelsa, and I know what I experienced on the road. Of course, some of their manifesto that is speaking to the fact that we need a very good road network in Nigeria. They are not bad ideas. We know that we cannot do something. Even investors cannot come to a country where the road is very bad. So we need that. But what I'm saying is, as far as we needed a good road, we need our hospitals, our health facilities to be in good shape. We need electricity, stable electricity. We need good water. We need some things that we need subsidized homes. We need a lot of things in fact, if you look at NAL Fund, our educational sector, young people should be able to afford the basic education without actually being too stressful for them. But yet we still need something different. Nations are talking about nanotechnology. Nations are talking about artificial intelligence. We should move from being a consumer nation to a producing nation. Nigeria has been we can't be a giant of Africa on paper. We should translate that giant of Africa into reality. All we have seen over the years are just the country will come up with ideas, they will come up with innovation, and they look at the market. Nigeria is becoming like a market whereby they will just dump that innovation here and we start running over it. So we need leaders that will come up with ideas, leaders that are ready to actually create something new for other nations to come here too. So these are the things that is missing in some of the. Maybe let me tell you, maybe I should give you some assignments, right? You could go to like African Democratic Congress office, go and pick their manifesto. Go to NDC, pick their manifesto. Go to APC, pick their manifesto. Go to Labour Party, pick their manifesto. Some of the parties that are yet to be deregistered, that are meeting up with some INEC statutory requirements to still remain a viable political party. You could go and pick their manifesto, bring it, spread it on the table, bring young people, let's extract it. Let's talk about it. Then you can tell me what is different. It's just copy and paste. I'm telling you, the same thing that is in the NDC manifesto, you will find it in APC manifesto, because these are guys that are just recycling themselves. So when they recycle themselves, they recycle the same ideas they've had 30 years ago. They have no new ideas. But if you think maybe we want to do so, maybe we could bring some of those manifestos, let's spread it on the table and extract, let's critique, at least let's criticize it. Then we can say, okay, maybe for instance, we cannot recommend some of those ideas. Maybe Third Eye Africa could just come up with some recommendation that, okay, NDC, if you want Nigerian youth to actually believe that you are coming to do something different, these are things that you should incorporate into your manifesto. And when these things are being incorporated into your manifesto, young people will believe that you are coming to actually do something different from the traditional ways. Then you could go to like APC to APC. If you believe that Nigerian youth actually you want them to trust you, that you can still come up like something good can still come up of your Egypt or something like that. Okay, these are the things that young people have seen that is missing in your manifesto. Put this thing in your manifesto, and you believe that young people will see your party as party to go for. ADC, come forward. article, okay, these are the things. Okay, so let's just go around and pick those manifestos. My dear, you will realize that it's just the same thing that all of them. These are recycled people, recycled politicians with recycled ideas. These guys are bankrupt of ideas.
Okay, let's talk about what is missing, because you're saying, okay, these are the same,
of course,
even be it the ruling or the opposition.
Absolutely.
But let's talk. We're focusing on the opposition right now. What do you think is missing in their role in calling the government accountable or bringing them in order? Because they're not really our frontliners in calling the government to accountability, if I may put that way. But what do you think is missing? What gap is missing from all other opposition parties in calling the government?
I think Nigeria, we play what I call politics of bitterness. And when I say politics of bitterness, is that if you look at our opposition most of the time, they call out government, they call out the ruling party, most especially all the time. If I have a friend that used to, that maybe me and my friend, we parted ways, there must still be a good things about that my friend, something good that friend has done for me before. It's not every time I will say my friend is bad, right? So what I think I will recommend is that the opposition we currently have in Nigeria, instead of them to just criticize government all the time, they should recommend. They should come up with some ideas that they think the government are not doing, something that they are not doing right. And maybe they come together and say, okay, oppositions are to strengthen democracy. Oppositions are supposed to produce, at least challenge the ruling party, challenge the government of the day to actually understand the missing link between leadership and governance. The essence of opposition is the essence of the ruling party, the people, the government of the day, is to protect lives and properties, right? And provide some governance that is, dividend of democracy for the people. So the role of opposition is to strengthen democracy. How can they strengthen democracy? Recommend some things that that the government are supposed to do, and they are not doing some of all those things. Recommend it to the government. E.g., nations are talking about technology. You will agree with me, whether we like it or not, that we have moved away from our physical reality. We are now talking about digital reality. What are the things? How can we tap into this? People used to say Nigeria missed it from industrial revolution. Now we are talking about digital revolution. What are the things that you think the government, whether in the area of insecurity, we've been talking about insecurity in this country. Okay, you are seeing bandits making call in the bush. They are using phones. These phones has GPS. There are ways you can track them. Is there a way opposition can sit down with government of the day, either with Mr. President or the National Security Advisor, and say, hello, sir, these are things that we believe in our camp. We have understudied it, and we realize that this thing can actually produce some kind of result in beefing up our security architecture. So the only thing, the opposition is not just to be fighting the government of the day. That is not the role of opposition. When opposition reduce to just politics is being run by gossip. Opposition is not just supposed to be gossipers. Oppositions are supposed to provide some kind of ideas that will make sure that the democratic landscape of a nation is strengthened. So even if it's only security that the opposition can also if we can follow this kind of way, Mr. President, we are going to address the security problem of our country. And Mr. President look at it and say, okay, if it is not politics of bitterness, if it is not, you just don't like the person that is on seat, if it is not this person that is not supposed to be the president, if it is not, I just hate everybody in that APC. Come up with ideas, come up with some kind of recommendation that can make, because Nigeria is supposed to be your goal, that this nation, the sustainability of our republic, supposed to be the goal of the opposition, not a personal goal. And that is why when I started, I was talking about the only way opposition can change a nation is when opposition have clarity of purpose. When that clarity of purpose is missing, opposition will be running a personal goal. And when you are running a personal goal, you will not share ideas that can make sure that the ruling party will do something that will make the country to be stable. Because let me tell you, the goal of opposition is to make sure that the nation is not okay. And when, no, that is the truth. That is one of the goals. They don't. That is why you see that when they, okay, let's talk about the Orire girls that were kidnapped. The more than 49 children, including their teachers, and the one that were beheaded on live on streaming, where recorded all over the world. They watch it. And after a few days, few months, let me not say few days, like almost 1 month plus, then after they released them, then opposition were just everywhere on Facebook, on Twitter, criticizing the government. That is not the time to criticize. Hello, we know that it's the role of the government to protect life and property. For the fact that the government rescued those children, whether they rescue them by paying for them, whether they rescue them by negotiation, whether they rescue them for whatever reason, the first thing, commend them first, then come together and say, we can do better next time. This route that we follow to be able to make sure that we secure the release of these people. Next time, let's do it this way. Opposition is supposed to produce ideas, provide ideas, guide the government of the day to make sure that the country is sustained. Opposition is not just to criticize.
You know, I like the point you're making right now.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of us would. That was a question I wanted to ask. Looking at Nigerians' landscape, once they say opposition, their main aim is to oppose the government. Be it good or bad.
No.
They don't recommend, and that's your recommendation, that opposition parties should actually recommend to the government in working towards the betterment of Nigerians.
Absolutely.
So it's not just for political party or just to unseat the ruling government.
Absolutely.
This brings me to a failure which I think is obvious, and a question which I would want to ask you. Do you think the opposition party failure or gap is one thing that like internal politics has also caused their failure, why they are currently not meeting up to their role?
Of course, yeah. When you look at the opposition party, let's take PDP for example, and you have the likes of Wiki that we people say is PDAPC, right? He's a minister in APC and is a chairman, a national leader in PDP. It is still because when you look at every political party, and I don't want to mention some of my past experience, so that we can focus on the discussion. When you look at a political party, individual in that political party, they are also driven by their personal ambition. You see, when we have a nation whereby everybody is just, when you see America, when they wake up in that country, you say, God bless America. Nobody cares about who is on seat. God bless America. If you fight America, if you fight one American, American, it's just as if you are fighting the whole Americans. When you look at all this opposition too, individuals in that opposition parties, in those parties, they are also driven by individual goals, not the collective prosperity, not the collective goal and how to structure the party. And a party that is an opposition party that is unstructured cannot unseat the ruling party. Why? That is why you see that, okay, with all due respect to the former presidential aspirant under Labour Party, if you look at the presidential aspirant, which is Peter Obi, if you look at the party, Labour Party, Nigerians trusted that party, that platform on its own. But there are some internal crises in that party that Nigerians are not aware of, which him himself is the one that knows what was going on in that party. Because tell me why he left that particular platform. These are platforms that made you popular in 2023. When you look at the
Did the platform make him popular, or he made the platform
popular? No. Let me tell you, you cannot become popular as an individual. It is party. Without APC, Tinubu cannot be president. Tinubu is popular as a person. They call him Jagaban because he's from Lagos. He has done this. He's going to protest together with Ganifawe Imi. I was in Lagos during the Occupy Nigeria protest in 2011. Ganifawe Imi Park. They did not tell me I was there. Tinubu was there. So what I was saying is, it is not an individual that will make a party to be popular. Party party became popular. A party became popular before you come. Go and stand on your own now and use your popularity now. Let me come and vote for you. It is because there is a platform that without National Youth Inclusive Initiative, I formed the National Youth Inclusive Initiative in 2019. That is during COVID-19, right? Because during COVID-19, people started coming up with ideas, right? So it was because of Labour Party that Peter Obi became popular. And let me tell you what makes him popular. EndSARS protest. Peter Obi gained the popularity of EndSARS because we were confused that, okay, who was the next person? I slept at City Gate for 2 days. You understand? So who was the next person that we can actually queue behind and say, okay, this person, okay, we have tried all these guys. Okay, they said Peter Obi come forward. And all the EndSARS protesters, they just followed Peter Obi like that, enter Labour Party, because Labour Party itself is not that popular before. No, it's not that we know Labour Party has been here for many years, for more than 30 years in this country. But yet, when the EndSARS protesters, the young people of this country that actually played the front row during the EndSARS, when they went behind Peter Obi in Labour Party, Peter Obi was everywhere. Now, Peter Obi has been here, right? But EndSARS protesters, they made Peter Obi popular in Labour Party. The question is that why would you leave that kind of party that made you to become that made him to be saying he won that election, which is contestable, or we can argue it. The facts are there. When you say young people of this country, they contribute to more than 60% population of Nigeria, and almost young people in the east, young people in the north, in the west, in the south, that came out in mass to protest during EndSARS, rally behind one person, and you say the person lose the election, then you will know that our democratic issues, there's a lot of questions behind it.
And that's why we're here to talk about our democratic issues.
So, if it was not because of the calm nature of Peter Obi himself, Nigeria would have resorted to another civil war in 2023, because facts are there, figures are there to back up the claim that man INEC declare who they declare, right? But there are a lot of contests around it. But that is not where I'm going to. The reason why I'm saying this is the fact that opposition themselves, they should move from being driven by personal goal to how can we use this party to wage war? How can we use this party to contest against these people? Because let me tell you, can I tell you the truth? As far as Nigeria is concerned right now, the only structured political party we have right now is APC. Let me put it there.
Okay.
The only structured party, whether they are the one that is now sponsoring other parties not to be structured, I don't know, because I'm not there. But what I'm saying is that the only structured political party that we have right now is APC.
That brings me to my next question, where I would want to ask you, looking at if the only structured political party is APC, do you see current opposition party getting their acts together, or would they be busy looking at the 2027 election for fighting internal politics?
You see, the only way opposition can actually challenge the ruling party is to structure themselves, which is already captured in the question you ask. See, opposition, ADC, NDC, Labour Party, ZLP, all the political party, we have like 18 political party on the ballot. All of them, imagine 17th of them comes together with one accord, one voice, saying this is our presidential candidate. 17 political party versus one party.
But if the goal is not to unseat the government, because this brings us back to the problem we're trying to erode, that's one person against one person.
But when you look, okay.
I mean, if we should look more onto bringing their manifesto as the people interest. You said if we bring all their manifesto and we're able to demystify one distinct manifesto among others, I mean, that should stand that political party out. And the main issue about this or opposition is not to unseat, and that's why I feel the current opposition or coalition going on is getting it wrong.
You see, I get you right. When I was talking, I said that if it's possible for Third Eye to just do some kind of visit to some of these political parties, get their manifesto and extray their manifesto and look at the missing link, the disconnect between between the party and the people. Like, let's see their ideas. What are they bringing forward for the Nigerian people? What are the new things they want to do for the Nigerian people? But let me tell you the truth. The goal of opposition, as far as Nigeria is concerned, do you think they call us third world country just for mouths? The underdeveloped country that we've been for years, those nomenclatures.
So what are you saying?
Because our development is mental, not physical. Development must be rooted in your subconscious mind before you translate what you do. You cannot, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. It is what is in you that reflects what is outside of you. You can't give what you don't have. Let me tell you, without speaking too much of English, what is rooted in individual, this opposition as far as Nigeria is concerned, is how to go to the ASU. It's ASU that they are aiming at.
Interesting.
See, if you look at it very well, if you look at their mindset, all of them, if actually I will be in this place on the, like, for a particular debate in this particular building. My name was also part of the people that will be coming for a debate in this building. I will share the date with you. It's Guinness World Record, something like that. I will let you know. If we need, how I wish to have a serious country, and I've been nurturing that idea under my foundation and National Youth Inclusive Initiative, to have a debate. I'm not talking about the one that they used to do in the National Assembly, all those things that Kuka Foundation and other foundations used to come together to sign a peace accord between political parties so that during the election there will not be violence. I mean a debate whereby Bola Ahmed Tinubu will come forward. In UK they do that a lot, whereby Keir Starmer, during the tenure of Keir Starmer and our sister there in the parliament, what is her name? She always Kemi Badenoch. She's part of the Conservative Party. They come together and debate some of the policies, the manifestos, some things their leaders, the Prime Minister has done for the country, and how those things is translating to development. Why do you think a lot of people are kicking against Kemi Badenoch? Because Kemi Badenoch is believing anti-migrant policy, that he does not believe that people should be migrating to England, to Britain as a country. So it's against people migrating to the country. That is on one side. Are we looking forward to a day whereby all these political parties, let's leave politicians, because politicians are product of political party, right? All these political parties come forward. Let's ask them questions. Like a debate. The chairman of APC, the chairman of PDP, the chairman of Labour Party, the chairman of ZLP, the chairman of NRM, the chairman of all these parties, let all of them, the chairman of NDC, the chairman of ADC, let all of them come together. Let's see the political parties manifesto first. Before we talk about an individual, the presidential aspirant of this party, before we look at the person's manifesto, let me tell you the truth. The only interest, what is in their skull, is just to find their way to Aso Rock. They don't care about you. Okay. They don't care about the people. So,
do you know what I'm taking from what you just said right now? Because I would have asked you, how can opposition party represent the people? And talking about this debate, I think this is a platform, if really this is going to hold at all, where we see there is I don't know if I should call it intimate,
of course,
where there's a direct contact with the people, where the people can come to whatever opposition party or whatever political party and question the people, and the people actually give feedback.
Exactly.
And we're not looking at a palliative system where we share rice or vote for me. There was this hilarious one that trended online where they were giving women and should I say undies to I don't know if it was to get their vote or alliance, but let's talk about alliance and defections.
Okay.
31 states out of 36 have claimed alliance with the ruling party through gubernatorial rule. What do you make of this in Nigeria? And with so much, do you think this poses a danger to Nigerians' democracy if we are trailing towards a one-party system?
Yeah, you see, this is not the first time that you see governors decamping to the ruling party, like trying to go to the president's party, aligning with the president's party. It's not the first time. Obasanjo, during the time of Obasanjo, this thing happened. In fact, the rumor of the third time agenda and all those things, it happened during Obasanjo, and it has been not the first time. So, but the question that I would say is, you cannot stop governors from decamping. You cannot stop. The governor is the one decamping, not the people. I think that caveat is very important. If the governor as an individual is the one decamping from his party to another party. When you define democracy according to Abraham Lincoln, you say democracy is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. The power belongs to the people. So the goal now is for people like you, third eye, the people like me, civil society, security agencies, and some other individual media. They call you guys fourth gate of the realm, right? So the goal is now to go to the grassroots and sensitize the people. The goal is to reawaken the people. The goal, you talk about them giving people on this for whatever reasons best known to them. The goal is to go to the grassroots, to go to the people. Me in Abuja, some in Ring Road in Benin, some in Ibadan, and some other satellite parts of the country. They are aware. They have some kind of subconsciousness. They know that if they could settle for Gary, it will not feed them. So we need to sensitize the people that if you settle for 5,000 naira, if you settle for this particular token, we need to kill that politics of tokenisms that they comes with all these Greek gifts. Right, come with the wrapper when election is coming. So our goal is to go to the grassroots. See, let me tell you, 36 governors can choose to decamp to APC. This is one of the.
So it doesn't pose any danger to our democracy.
One of the problem of democracy is that democracy is not by force. It's not dictatorial. It is people have freedom of movement. As the same freedom of movement that bounds to you as a citizen is also applicable to the governor. The governor can decide to move to wherever it is their choice. It is their fundamental human rights. You understand? So the role of opposition is to keep talking. And that is one of the things that you need to understand, is that it's because they are moving because of their interest, not because of the people. If the people, and the democracy is supposed to be people-centric, but the disconnection between the people and those that are in power has always been the problem. So the question is, that is why I said we need to continue continuous sensitization. National Democratic Institute, Nigeria National Endowment for Democracy. The role of the media organization is to partner with this kind of organization, Yaga Africa, to continue to sensitize the people. Let the 36 state governor in Nigeria decamp to APC. The people should stand on the mandate they believe in. That is the only thing. How I wish we are in military regime where you can put gun on people's head and say you must not go.
You really
you
wish?
Must stay here. I wish, but at least I still believe in democracy as opposed to military regime. So what I'm saying is, you cannot stop the governors, some of those state governors that have been decamping. It is their fundamental right. Though, as you say, it poses a lot of threats into our democracy. It makes our democracy to be threatened. Like our enduring democracy, like Nigeria has become one of the most, our Nigerian democracy has endured for more than 60 years, right? But yet, if we... 30. Right. If you look at this kind of decamping, all the states decamping to one party, it makes us look as if maybe we are still in a subtle military democracy. You understand? Like it's undermined the sanctity of our democracy. But yet we cannot stop these people from moving. We can't. As far as democracy is concerned, the governor of Lagos State has the right to say, okay, well, I'm not doing APC again, I'm moving to Labour Party. The governor of Taraba has the right to say, I'm not doing PDP again, I'm moving to NDC. It is his fundamental right. The question now is that the people. Let me, before you ask the next question, let me tell you a story. The place I'm staying presently, we are having issue with our chairman. And the people are saying, Chairman, this particular transformer, do not touch this transformer again. Because when this transformer got damaged for more than 3 months, the people has been living without light. While in your house you have light because the transformer that is close to your house has been okay. Then so the people have the right to say, okay, this is the path we want to go. So you cannot stop that. We need to continue consistent. That is why you see America continue to pump money in to make sure that advocacy like this continues to strengthen our democracy. As far as we know that it does not possess a good image into our democracy, but there's nothing we could do about it.
Indeed. There are 22 registered political parties currently in Nigeria, and these 22 are recognized by the INEC, if I'm not mistaken, 20 to 22 registered
because
political
I know
parties.
There were some that were deregistered. And,
So do you think that's 21 now, aside the APC, the ruling party, do you think they are formidable forces or opposition that can influence good governance in Nigeria?
Of course, yes.
So 21 is enough.
You see, I can't say, if I get your question right, whether the 21 political parties, they are enough to actually influence change. Or accountability. See, you don't need plenty people. You see, changes cannot happen with multitude. It is not if the people that, when you look at America, the foundation of America, you talk about Thomas Jefferson, you talk about the people that built America. How many are they? Even during the colonial era, the people that fought for the emancipation of Nigeria from the colonial grip, how many are they? You talk about Tafawa Balewa, you talk about Sadano of Sokoto, you talk about Nnamdi Azikiwe, you talk about them, the later, the Ogoni man, the man that fought for the climate activist, what is his name, in one of the southern states. So when you look at the people that fought for this, they are not much. We don't need 100 political parties before we influence change in Nigeria. We just need few people. In fact, we don't need 21 political parties, 10 political parties, 5. We just need people that understand that Nigeria is a diverse nation. Like when you look at our diversity, you look at our numbers, you look at a lot of factors that people consider, and they feel like this country, we need to be like 4 countries in one nation, 5 countries in one nation, that Nigeria need to be splitted, a lot of conversation around. But let me tell you, what we need is intentional leaders. Influential leaders, the people that understand that. That is why I used to tell people, politicians are not leaders. That you voted for someone and the person becomes your senator, the person becomes your House of Rep member, that does not automatically make that person a leader. A politician is driven by personal ambition. A leader is
You really made this point noted.
I'm telling you, a politician, they are driven by a politician prepare for the next election. Leaders prepare for the next generation. That is the goal of a leader.
And if we look at democracy, democracy thrives where there is competition. That's why there is democracy.
Absolutely.
But how do you think, or how does this competition translate to national security and stability?
Exactly. I think I like this question, and the reason why I like the question, I read a lot of Nigerian history. I think there is a particular, I think 1960 or post-1960, there was a particular crisis in the western part of the country, the Yoruba region, called Operation Wetie. What is Operation Wetie? Operation Wetie was actually a political crisis whereby, politicians are fighting themselves. They were saying, okay, this is what we want, this is not what we want, and the thing erupted to crisis that claims lives and properties. So what we need in Nigeria right now is the fact that if opposition continue to be driven by personal interest, not national interest, of course, crisis is inevitable. And when you look at it, it started with threats. Okay, in 2015, if I could recall, I was in Abuja here when Muhammadu Buhari made a pronouncement on national TV that if he lose that election, that there will be war, Nigeria will be on fire. And you are going to be seeing some kind of pronouncement like that as we proceed to 2027 election. And these pronouncements are just to incite, to make people fear, to pose threat on the nation. So, as far as the people, the politicians themselves, that are stakeholders in this political party, that you call, whether you call it the ruling party or the opposition, as far as the national agenda is not on their table, what is on their table is personal agenda. You are going to be seeing threats rolling out. You are going to be seeing confrontation. So, of course, as far as I'm concerned, the Nigerian oppositional trajectory poses a lot of threats into the Nigerian state. Why? Because the people that are drivers of the opposition are people that are driven by their own national interests. Now, the democracy cannot thrive with oppositions that are not actually moving towards stabilizing the nation. They are just moving towards achieving a political position. And this is what we are seeing in Nigeria today. And that is why I mentioned that Operation Wet here. And you know that recently, Seyi Makinde mentioned that on national TV. That if they did not allow opposition to thrive in Nigeria, that Operation Wet here will be revisited. That a lot of people like Okute Dirok, the former governor of Ekiti State, was saying that if Seyi Makinde is a student of history, he will not reckon to the word Operation Wet here, because people that understand, people that witness Operation Wet here, they can actually account to the kind of destruction that happened during that particular history as a nation. So when you see a politician making that kind of pronouncement on national TV, whereas some idle young people that have graduated for the past 10 years but they don't have a job to do, they are looking for an avenue to destroy things. A lot of young people are there to actually, let me tell you, why do you think NSAS did not work? NSAS did not work because there are some young people that are seated one side that are looking for opportunity like that to hijack the thing. So when politicians should be able to actually control the kind of words they use on either you call it on social media or traditional media, because the kind of words that came out from the likes of Seyi Makinde and other politicians, the former governor of Osun State, Ralph Aregbesola, has also made that kind of threat, and those threats is just to incite fears, to make either the ruling party. And one thing you don't know is that incumbent power has always been there, and any politician that understands the power of incumbency will not succumb to all forms of threats. And for the fact that these people are not ready to succumb to all forms of threat, it is the people that will be at the receiving end. So the goal of the government is to make sure that they still, as far as their opposition, the government of the day still have the power to regulate the opposition. When some kind of uncouth pronouncement is coming out of national TV, such opposition should be called to order. If we don't want, because I used to tell people, history don't repeat itself. It is the people that repeat history. If we don't check back on what happened yesterday and pay attention to it, we are bound to repeat it. So the government of the day have the right to still at least regulate as far as the people are regulating the government, because it is the people, we the people, we have a role to play in making sure that the ruling party, the government of the day, they do the right thing. That whether it's the opposition that is saying it or not, but the government of the day also have the power, the strength to regulate the opposition. They cannot allow them, they can't leave them to just do whatever they like and say whatever they like. There is a need for them to actually regulate the ruling party if we must have a sustainable nation that will not resort to chaos.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We'll go on a quick break right now. We'll come back to more on this. Do stay tuned here on 360 U Dialogue. Welcome back from that short break. If you're just joining us, we have been dissecting a matter on democracy. Can our democracy be secured in the upcoming 2027 election? I've been having that wonderful conversation here on 360 U Dialogue with Fasasi Sodiq. I got your name right. And before we took a break, Sodiq had a lot to say. And one point that came prominent was the fact that for an opposition to change the political equation, or yes, the political equation, going with our title today, for an opposition to change the political equation, they have to have a unified nation interest, a national interest, rather than a personal interest. And it went down to not just political interest of the party, but to their own interest. Every politician wants to be the next president. And back to you, Sodiq. Can Nigeria really strengthen its democracy through healthy political competition, or will the road to 2027, expose us to deeper security and governance challenge, looking at the quest and the threat that we have on our democracy?
Yeah, I think the best way to answer that question is the continuous advocacy has always been the only way we can achieve a sustainable democracy. And just like what you are doing in Third Eye and some other media platforms, civil society organizations, non-governmental organizations, individuals, even content creators, they have a role to play in making sure that we spotlight some kind of things that can make sure that our nations continue to be in a stable form. Because politicians will always be politicians. That's the truth. And politicians are more like a very desperate people that you have. Before somebody remove 200 million naira and start doing campaign, 500 million naira and start doing campaign, that person is ready to fight dirty to achieve their goal. So the goal of the role of some of us, we the people, and that is why I used to say it was during the speech of Barack Obama when he won his election, that when he was giving the speech, that is the handing over speech that he used to talk about. That I pay attention to that statement. We the people, we have a role to play in making sure we strengthen our democracy. And the only way we can do it is through the instrumentality of the media platform like yours. Because the media platform have the tractions, they have the statistics, they have the numbers. Whether you talk about the radio, as I was inside, I was listening to my own platform. We are in partnership with National Broadcasting Services. In fact, I just rounded up a project in Nasarawa State, which is to educate young people. So we have a role to play. We have a role to play. If our democracy must stay, if we don't want an individual or some set of people to undermine our democracy, then we have a role to play in making sure that we continue to speak truth to power. We continue to use our platform, every opportunity to speak. Because let me tell you, you might be telling yourself in your corner that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is not seeing Third Eye. And it will be shocking to you that these people have people that they have planted everywhere to just be monitoring. They are hearing all these things. Some of the recommendations that you might roll out here might be recommendations that some of these political parties will pick, and they will quickly address something that they feel that, if we can put this thing, maybe we'll be in the eyes of the people. So we, the people, we have a role to play in making sure that our democracy is strengthened. We have the people, we have a role to play in making sure that our political parties are more structured, because the political party, they are the one that produce these politicians. And when politician comes to the political party, what are the questions that they ask them? When you go for an interview, you go, because the political party, they are more like a recruiting platforms. They recruit these politicians, and by the time they recruit these politicians, the politician become the stakeholder. They becomes one of the people that will rather make sure whether they will rather make or mar our democracy. So the goal is to make sure that we continue advocacy, we continue to speak. It was Pastor Chris that said, keep saying it, don't stop talking it. All the good things that we know that we need to say to make sure that, and we need more partnership, we need more collaboration. Media platforms need to collaborate with each other. Content creators need to start thinking, not just to become a country of comedians. We need to move from being a digital content creators to a country that talks about leadership. Leadership, above all, is the heartbeat of everything. If a nation must rise, it will be leadership. If a nation will fall, it will be leadership. So if our democracy will endure, it will be leadership. We need to move from being a politician. We need to move from from just producing politicians to producing leaders. And it can only happen by a platform like yours, platform like mine, when we continue to talk about issues that can make our country to either collapse or to stay.
Just before we wrap up, who would you say is the strongest opposition party? And that's like a tricky question.
This kind of question that, as far as I'm concerned, without being biased, I will say are you talking about an individual or a party?
Not an individual, because why I ask this question is, let me just put it straight.
It's indeed a very tricky question.
It's very tricky. You were talking and you said the people run the country.
Absolutely.
It's the people that are to call.
They are the lifeblood of the country.
They are the lifeblood. And I wanted you to say, the people are the strongest opposition party because they make or bring whoever
absolutely
to the government. And right now, looking at other opposition party, do you think parties now, not the people, do you think Nigerians have confidence in these people?
I think for me, Nigerians has lost confidence in some of these people. But the only party I can say that Nigerians are still believing that, this party is, maybe some new party that is coming up. We have the likes of NDC, where you see young people are talking about, and because of the Obi factor, you understand. Let me tell you the truth. The agenda of this country right now should be how to sustain the young people. And everybody should be focusing on how the young people of this country, because if the young people of this country have a goal, if the country capture them into their agenda, then Nigeria will be sustained. So the only party I can say that for now, Nigerian youth, some Nigerian youth, not all Nigerian youth, I think NDC. But when you want to talk about a structured political party, it's APC. Because that's why I have to give you the two answers. The only party that Nigerian youth are looking towards, they are looking like believing that we still have somebody that is, more like a youth-friendly party, NDC. You get it, right? But when you talk about a structured party, a structured one, you talk about APC. So the only thing that NDC can do is to make sure that maybe they can go back to their drawing board and put some things in place that can make sure that young people still believe in the party. Because I don't have a stake in APC. If I want to go to APC to contest, it will be very difficult because the party is already more of a party of big boys. But if I go to NDC, I can have my opportunity there because
that's just from your conclusion.
From my own opinion.
Okay, I think that's where we wrap it up here on 360U Dialogue. We would have gone on and on and on talking about securing our democracy, but we would wrap it up here. Thank you so much, Fasasi, for coming through to 360U Dialogue.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to always have you join us here. And to our wonderful viewers, 2027 is coming up, and we all hope that our democracy would be secured. We're looking forward to an opposition where the people are the voice and not just political parties.
Absolutely.
Do stay tuned on Third Eye Africa Television. I am Juliet Onwura.